Hey everybody, it's Jesse. I'm a front-end developer, and this live stream is just about showing people what I do. So whatever I happen to be working on at this time of day, pretty much every day, every weekday, you guys will see. I want you to see all my mistakes, interruptions, everything that would happen in a normal day. So this is entirely unscripted, and hopefully it'll give you just a little glimpse of how at least one front-end developer does his work. We are in the middle of a project. Let me give you a quick recap. I have some info in the description for this live stream, and I also have some videos I've done before this. I have one other video on this channel, freeCodeCamp, and then I have some other videos on my channel, and the link is in the description. So we have a partially finished website that I'm going to take and finish, but I'm finishing it kind of in a different format. So the partially finished website was built with Drupal. We're going to build this first as just a static HTML site, and then eventually we're going to convert that to React components, and we're going to render that server side, and all the content is going to be pulled in from WordPress through the WordPress API. So the React site will exist on a different server from the WordPress site, and all the content will come from there. But we'll set all that up in the weeks to come. For now, we need to get this site finished and ready to go by Monday. And the site actually has to launch probably by the 13th. So I want to get it done by Monday so that we have at least a few days for testing and making some changes. If you have any other questions about why we're doing this or background for the project, just put them in the comments. You can put them in the live chat too, but if there's a lot of people in the live chat, it's hard for me to keep track of it. So if I do miss your question in a live chat, just put it in the comments, and then I'll get to it later on, and I try to answer everybody that comments. If you're returning, thanks for watching yesterday. The response was amazing. I think we have over 5,000 views on yesterday's video in 24 hours, which is crazy. I live in a town that has maybe 18,000 people at most. So to get 5,000 views in a day on one of my videos is just really great. And I had so much positive feedback. I had lots of thumbs up, only 4 thumbs down, which is great. If you do thumbs down the video, that's fine with me, but it would be cool if you comment below and give me some feedback so I can make this stream better. I'm definitely welcome to feedback. I mean, if you're mean about it, I mean, that stinks, but I'll be able to handle it. All right, so enough introduction. Let's just get to it. Here's what we've been working on. Not a whole lot has changed since yesterday, at least visibly. A lot of the work that I've done has just been on the mobile breakpoints, making sure the positioning is okay. So if we see as I shrink this down, everything still looks pretty good. I added a slight border on the bottom here. To me, it just looked a little bit better with that border. I'm not entirely sold on it. It might change. Let me know what you think, but I was just used to seeing this red up against the black and not the black straight on the white. So it just seemed nicer to have a little bit of that red there. And let me show you, this is an interior page, and let me show you on the home page, we did make some changes. So we still have this, and this font's actually growing on me. I know I said yesterday I might change it, but we'll see. I'm getting used to it, and so it might stay. And then now, once we get smaller, everything's still looking pretty good. When we get to a certain point, when the image and the font would normally squish together, we actually just switch right back to that interior header. So it'll look the same as the interior pages. Also, if the screen is short, it will switch back. That just in case somebody has a really big phone and they're in landscape mode, it's possible that their screen would be wide enough to not hit that breakpoint, but still short enough so that the text would actually be all up here, the tagline text, and it would cover up the logo. So that's all I did. You can see here in this media query, this is how I did that. I set a max width inside the media query of 600 pixels, and then a comma, which basically acts like an or if you're writing a media query, comma, and then I added that max height as well. So I just popped those in just on the few elements, the header, the nav, the logo, the few elements that needed to change. You see where the entire hero section is just completely not even displayed, and this will help us too because we won't need to make as many image sizes for all the different screen sizes. Before, I think we had 3 or 4 different media queries, so we'd have all these different image sizes. Now we won't have to mess with that. For today's video, what I want to work on is this page, this team page. And as I said, this is coming from a site that is partially finished. So let me show you what we have to work with in terms of the content that's already there. And it's not, it's going to be a little bit of a challenge. Okay, so here's the current team page from the site that's unfinished. Oops, I have an interruption, so this is great. From let me check in real quick.
Sorry, Jesse, you're active.
Yeah.
I'm really sorry.
It's all right. Okay. Okay, that's awesome. I'm actually glad I had an interruption because that's like a normal day. You can't always just have all your time to completely focus on the code. That was actually the head of the department that I'm building this site for. So that was cool. He's a super nice guy. He was really apologetic for interrupting the live stream. Okay, so let's see this team page. So right now, obviously, we've already changed the header. You know, this isn't going to be here. I think this is just too much stuff at the top without seeing the content. I'm not entirely thrilled about this large block of text. I don't like the font. It just seems kind of difficult to read. Maybe it just needs to be bigger, or maybe not the white on the dark red. Either way, you know, we're going to change it. We're probably not even going to have this block of text at all, or you know, we definitely should cut it down and break it up. I'm a big fan of really just minimal text on pages, and if you have some interior pages that people expect to have a lot of text, like a blog post, people expect to read, that's fine. But on a page like this, I don't think anybody would expect to click on Teams and the first thing they get is a very large paragraph. What they're expecting is, you know, probably this, and their bios for the people who are on the team. This is actually the person that just interrupted the live stream accidentally. So I'm not mad at him. He's one of the nicest guys you ever meet. So right now they have this kind of accordion. There's a couple of problems. It's not that easy for the people that are in charge of the content. They don't have any experience with code, and they're not going to. And that's fine, but they need a way to edit this easily. And right now, this entire section here, which goes on for a while, is all one big kind of WYSIWYG section. So in the admin panel in Drupal, you know, they literally had to type out all of this and try to position the images, and it's hard enough to do that if you know code, you know, let alone if you're just trying to put this put this in with little background. I'm going to check the live stream for a second, see if I need any to answer anything. Yeah, these will all be available afterwards. So somebody just asked if these will be available. Yeah, they are. So the some of my previous ones are available on my YouTube channel, and that's linked in the description. And then yesterday I just started streaming on FreeCodeCamp, so yesterday's is available there. So between the two channels, you'll be able to get everything. And if you have any other questions, just let me know in the comments and I'll be happy to answer them. I'd like to do some shorter videos that are pre-recorded and just kind of explaining things in more depth. In this format, it's like, oh, you're welcome. In this format, it's just kind of, I don't think it's the best format for teaching. I don't want to mislead anybody by forgetting something or leaving it out, so I'd really like to take time to kind of prepare and do a nice video, edit everything. So, those would be more of the teaching videos. I'm sure that, and I hope that you'll learn something with the live streams, but this is just more kind of a glimpse into my day. Okay, so the one problem with this is the fact that it's not easy to edit for the people that need to update this content. The second thing is the formatting is just not really, and this is, it's just not, you can see, it's not uniform, okay? We have all the image sizes are all different sizes. Some of them are aligned differently. There's a lot going on. Not only that, there's some just weird issues when you click this. You wind up in the middle. So I think I want to get away from the accordion. I'm still thinking about maybe some sort of accordion for mobile, just to cut down on the amount of scrolling that somebody would have to do on a phone. But there's a lot of little bios here and pictures, a lot. So we need some way to be able to display these that's not going to seem really cluttered. So here's my idea. I was doing a little bit of sketching earlier, and it was in a meeting. So if you guys work for a company or something, you have frequent meetings, always bring a sketch pad or something, because you get ideas, and I got some ideas for this in the middle of a meeting, and I sketched it out. So you obviously are not going to be able to see my sketch. I probably should have taken a picture of it first to show you, but I'll just explain it. What I'm kind of thinking is maybe some horizontal, like material design style cards. Actually, I can show you an example. I'm using the Materialized framework. It's kind of like, Bootstrap or Foundation, but with material design, kind of built into it. So let me show you how they do their horizontal cards. And this is kind of a newer thing. When I first started using Materialized, they didn't have horizontal cards. Actually, you had to kind of adjust the cards that they did have to make them. But then they added horizontal cards, and they're awesome. So this is the documentation for Materialized. So this is what I'm talking about, a horizontal card. So we'll have an image here, and then a little bit of text. And in this case, they have a link here. I'm thinking, for right now, maybe the link would actually open up a modal that would have more information, because we can't possibly put all that text that's in the bio here. And that link, I think there's a possibility that there could be YouTube videos for a lot of these team members at some point down the road. So the modal would also work for that as well. You could definitely do a YouTube embed in a modal, and that would work. I think that would look fine. So for now, that's the plan. We're going to put all those images, and actually I'd like to make the images square if I could. I think that's the only way I'm going to be able to get all these images the same size. The chances of actually finding pictures that are all the same or taking pictures for all these people it's not going to happen. Not all of them are even here on campus, so we just can't do it. But I think if we go square, every one of these pictures could possibly be edited to be a square and at least show somebody's face. So that's what we're going to go with. I just hope that they're big enough so that I could get a decent size square. But the horizontal cards, as you can see, aren't really that big. They don't have to be that big. So that's the plan. So we're going to grab some of this code for a horizontal card, and let's put it in a page, just see how it looks, and see how it looks when we put a bunch of them in there, just to get a feel for, like, will this actually work? Okay, somebody asked how long I've been using Materialized framework. I've actually been using Materialized for about 2 years. I think about 2 years. So when I first started using it, I wasn't exactly sure if it was production ready or not. There were definitely some live sites that were using it. I never had any problems, any major problems with anything, breaking. There were some like kind of edge cases, mostly having to do with putting like a lot of text as the title in a card or something, and having some weird things happen when it wrapped onto another line. Um, but all in all, I think it's a good framework. The only thing that I don't like about it now, that it's part of a lot of frameworks, is that it requires jQuery. Okay, so I have no problem with jQuery. I use it on a lot of my sites, but I'm starting to get more into React. And from everything I've read about React, you really shouldn't use jQuery with it. It's not that it won't work, but it's better not to use it. I'm not a React expert, but it has to do with the way React tracks the DOM. It has this virtual DOM, and um, if you change the DOM with jQuery after the fact that it loads, it can mess up React's DOM. So I don't know any more in detail about it, but so at some point I would really love to, I don't know, kind of convert Materialized framework to React components and rewrite everything in just vanilla JavaScript. I think there are already some people trying to do that, so maybe I'll just check out their repo and try to contribute to that. So someday, hopefully I'll get that done. But for now, I'm going to keep working with it. It just saves so much time. They put in a lot of work into this framework, and it works well. Somebody asked, why am I doing so many divs? Yeah, that's just how the framework is, with all these divs. So when you're using a framework, you're kind of locked into how they have things set up. I don't know if I would use that many divs if I was doing it from scratch, but it's actually not that bad compared to how many divs are used in the current site that I'm using kind of as my example to go off of. There's there's a lot of divs in there. All right, so let's put this in, and I'm going to put it. I'd like to see what it looks like on both these backgrounds, on the white background and on the red background. So I'm going to put it in both those places. So here's our HTML for that page. You see from yesterday, I actually went through and duplicated this into all the pages for the main menu, just so we'll have them. We'll be able to work on them all. Okay. All right. So this section, let's pop in. Let's pop this in here. Pop one of these in. Ooh. I guess I didn't need this header. Okay. And let's go ahead and put this, let's put another one down here. Oops, I didn't grab the columns too. Sorry if this is confusing to you. There's kind of a lot. This is kind of the grid system, the column system for Materialized. Check out, I have the link in the description, so if you check out their documentation, it should make a lot more sense. All the source code for this is on GitHub as well for the project that I'm doing, so you can follow along. I'll try to keep that, I'll try to push changes right after I'm done with the video, and then that way it'll be all up to date for you. And if you want to submit a pull request or something to contribute to the project, that would be awesome too. I'm definitely up for that. All right, so let's see what this gave us. Okay, let me change the columns. I wanted to see how this looked like side by side. So we have, if we change this to M6, this is out of a 12 column layout. So if we give it M6, that means on a medium sized screen, it'll take up 6 of those 12 columns. So they should be side by side. Okay, side by side. And once again, I forgot to take out this header. Okay. All right, so we have these side by side. It's not bad. This is a little bit of a problem though. See how this image looks when we have too much text? If we're gonna do the horizontal cards like this, we got to make sure there's definitely a limit on how much text can be in here to make sure we don't. I don't like that at the bottom. That makes it look kind of like it's broken. So we'll have to watch out for that. I'll work on that at some point later today, just to check it. But if we can get it to the point where we're not seeing that gap at the bottom, I think these will work. This will allow us to do 2 columns instead of 1 long column for all the team members. I think we can alternate the white sections and the red sections to differentiate between all those different categories that we saw. Let me go back to our example. So we had that, 4 categories here. So I think we could do we could definitely do the 4 categories. The only one I'm worried about is this second one. I think there's like 37 different people that we need to, different bios we need to put in. That's a lot. That's a lot of scrolling. Okay, so here's what we'll do right now. I'm going to copy these a little bit. I said I want to check out how they look on this background, and I just want to get a feel for how do these stack. I'm going to move the screen in and out a little bit. Normally, I wouldn't be making so many design decisions as I'm developing. This is kind of a special case. This project has a super tight timeline, and I didn't even know at the beginning of the week that I'd be working on it. So that's why we're combining those steps. It's usually better to kind of have the design more locked down at first before you do this. I don't mind doing it like this, but sometimes it's you waste a little bit of time trying things that end up not working. And if you would have just maybe planned them out in Photoshop or Sketch or whatever the new thing Adobe has that's like Sketch, I can't remember what it's called. You plan it out in something like that first, it could might be able to save you some time. I guess it just depends on whether you're faster with code or faster with Photoshop. Alright, so let's just grab some of these and copy and paste them just to give us a more realistic look for how this will be when we get a lot of these in here. So I'm just going to pop in. So that was really quick, but what I did is I copied the whole row. So this div is our row div, and then inside each row we have 2 columns. If we can, I'd love to go on a bigger screen, maybe even up to 3 columns if it'll work. So maybe we can test that out. Maybe not today because we have about 7 minutes left. Maybe I'll try it out later and show you tomorrow if it worked. And where's the red section? I want to get into that red section up here. There we go. And let's pop in a couple of these in there as well. It should look about the same in the red section. What I'm really worried about is just that white right up against the red and just kind of seeing if it works. Sometimes you just don't know until you get it on the page. Whoa. Okay. Well, this is cool. Somewhere I have it set to have white text inside here, which makes sense because you want the white text against the red background. So that's an easy fix. We'll scroll up to the top. In Materialized, there we go. See this class called white text? That's one of their helper classes they're building the framework. That is probably where we're getting that style from. So if I take that out, there we go. We have the text. Will there be a lot of this? Yeah, I've had a couple people are asking, will this be recorded? The video gets automatically uploaded to the channel really kind of minutes after the live stream ends. So if you jumped in the middle, just check out the recording of it later. I mean, it's usually like 5 minutes or less that seems like the video is posted. Okay. And like I said earlier, in case you didn't catch that, if you're asking something in the live chat and I miss it, because it's a little bit hard to keep up with the live chat and do the code, just ask it in the comments, because I'll read the comments afterwards and I'll try to get back to you as soon as I can. Okay. This doesn't look terrible. I really kind of don't like that it's so uniform all the way down. I was a little bit afraid of that. I think there needs to be something to break this up. So we need some sections. My first idea is this. All this big block of text here that we kind of don't want in a big block, maybe rework the text. And actually, my boss is great at this. He always handles text stuff for me, which is awesome because I don't want to deal with text stuff, and it usually takes me a long time. Maybe we can say, okay, we want like 3 sections. We want this broken out into 3 sections. We can do a much bigger font, maybe like a responsive font, so the font size changes with the screen size. I really like that. Materialized has that built in as well. And then we can have maybe some different colored sections in between. Possibly, we could possibly have all these cards on white sections and then the text on the red sections. Or we could do maybe some sort of parallax section with an image. That might work to break things up. We can actually test that out right now. Here's a good way to test this will be to, let's grab all of this that we just put here, all of these rows. Hopefully I can catch the right spot here. Section, okay. Yeah, this is it. Hopefully I can grab, yeah. Okay, pretty much grabbed everything. I got one extra div that I didn't need, so let's just add that back in. And for now, let's pop in an H2, and let's just be text, and we'll pop in a paragraph tag, and just put. We should be able to. Let's give it a class of flow text. Within Materialized, this will give us kind of a responsive effect on our font. It will change font sizes, and I think there we go. I'm using Atom as my code editor, and I think this is built in. It's possible it's from some plugin I loaded a long time ago and forgot about, but if we can just type in lorem and hit tab, and it gives us some lorem ipsum text. Wow, that's a lot. Okay, so that's cool. We can see the lorem ipsum, and here's what I want to do. I'm just going to take this section, we'll leave that heading, and I want to keep that heading in. Actually, we'll leave that whole row, so where's the row stop? And we'll pop in all that stuff, all those cards that were in the red section, and now they're going to be in the section at the top. And that'll let us see what it looks like when we have a divider. Okay. That's not terrible, it doesn't look terrible. And we took out the white text class, so let's put that back in. I'm somewhat new to live streaming, so if you couldn't already tell. And what I found over the last couple of weeks is that you miss little things that you would probably never miss normally when you're trying to talk at the same time as code. So I'm not quite such a noob as I appear to be when I live stream. Okay, that does break things up a bit. I don't know if you guys can see it, but it seemed to me, yeah, it seems to me like it's not quite as just monotonous and repetitive. Okay, I'm happy enough with that I think it's worthwhile to go through and actually, maybe try out 3 columns, try to get this to the image to always look good. Put in maybe a few real images from the ones that we're actually going to use. Yeah, I think that's worthwhile. All right, so I'm coming to the end of my stream. Got about a minute left. Oh, thanks. I'm getting some real positive feedback there. Thank you. And I'm serious. If you have any tips for me, for my code, I always am trying to get better. And for my live streams, I'm really new, so I know I can get better at this. So I really love the positive feedback, but I welcome some criticism as well. Um, I have one question here that I think I can answer before we run out of time. And it's, can you make a video how to set up the Atom editor for most efficiency? Okay, I can make a, where do you tip? I don't have a tip button right now. Maybe, I actually purposely did not want to seem like I'm trying to do this for any type of money at all at first. Maybe one day if it starts taking up a lot of my time, it might make more sense to ask for tips. But right now, I'm actually doing this at my regular job. My boss is awesome, and he realizes how much value that there is in something like this. So I just wouldn't feel right getting paid on top of my normal wage for doing this. But if I start doing more videos, I definitely will. As for the video about Atom, I'm writing it down right now, and I'm not sure that I have the best setup. In fact, I know there's got to be people that have better, more efficient setups than me, but I will definitely share the way I have it set up, and maybe that'll help, and maybe you can improve on it. Should do mobile first. Yeah, you're right about the mobile first. Sorry, I'm going over a little bit. I was just trying to answer some more questions here. The comment was most users will view your website through mobile instead of a desktop or laptop. This is kind of, I'm really glad that you said that. In this case, some of the people that I'm working with for this site, we're kind of trying to get a feel for the audience, and there's been some talk that the audience isn't going to be a mobile first audience, it's going to be an older audience, but I agree with you. I think even if it is an older audience, we still should do a mobile first. So normally that is how I do things. In this case, I didn't, partially because I'm kind of working from an already partially completed site. But you're right. Normally I would do all the styles focused really small and then kind of go up. Maybe I'll switch up to that. But that's definitely a good tip. I highly recommend that. If you're starting a project from scratch, do everything with the mobile in mind, and then start to expand the screen and say, okay, what else can we add now? And then that way your users won't feel like mobile is an afterthought. You'll put most of your thought into the mobile experience, and the desktop will feel really clean and not cluttered because all your content is optimized for mobile. So anyway, I don't want to make this video too long and be intimidating for people to watch it again. Thanks for all the feedback. If you have any more questions, leave them in the comments. Check out, I have some links down below for some of the tools that I'm using and places where you can see the code and everything. And I'll be back tomorrow at 2 p.m. I'm going to do the stream on freeCodeCamp channel again. If I do some of those videos like on Atom or some other things, some short tutorial videos, I'll probably throw those on my personal channel. Okay. So thanks for all the feedback and everything I was getting throughout the video. I'll see you tomorrow.